Today we're going to make a pinch pot. You're going to start with a little block of clay. And the first thing you're going to have to do is make it into a ball. Whenever you're working with clay, it's important to make sure that you're always working on top of something that you can just throw away. So I'm going to be working on top of a piece of newspaper. When I cut the clay from the block, it's going to be kind of squarish and it might have some pieces added in. So we have to really make sure that we crush it together really good. So I want you to squeeze it together like this between your hands at least 10 times. I like to do at least 20 times. That way I get all the air out of it. If you leave air pockets inside of the clay, it might cause your piece of pottery to explode in the kiln. Alright, so now it's like this. It's a little wrinkly. If you have any deep wrinkles, just push some clay over into that wrinkle so it doesn't affect the ball. You don't want to spend a lot of time rolling it around and making it perfectly smooth. This is good. Next, you're going to take one thumb and push it into the clay. You want to feel with your finger, if it feels close to the bottom, you want to stop. If it feels pretty far away, keep pushing down. This is the beginning. Now I'm going to squeeze the clay with pushing my thumb into my hand of the same hand. This hand is only supporting it. Do not put both thumbs inside of the clay. It will make the hole too big and it will spread the whole thing out and it'll look more like a plate. We're trying to make more of a bowl. So I'm starting at the bottom right here and I'm squeezing that. My goal is to make it all feel about the same thickness all the way around. So you really have to use your feeling in your hands. So I'm still going around. Now I'm right about here. You can see it starting to open up. Slowly working my way towards the top. Do not pinch the actual top edge though. The top we want to keep kind of thick. If you squeeze the top, it kind of makes it so the whole thing could just tear open. You can also switch hands if you want. Maybe your hand's tired or whatever, you just want to try something different. So now I'm getting closer to the top and I'm trying to keep it even. If I see like a little bump or something, I can squeeze that to level it out. Once again though, I'm not pinching this edge. Alright, look at this. See, the inside's very smooth. The outside you see lots of fingerprints. So right now I'm looking at it, this is a little high here, so I could either push that down or I could go around the rest of it and make that come up. So I'm looking for anything that looks unusual or bumpy, smooth it out. On the outside I can do the same thing. Now I can get my thumb out here and look for any high spots and just squeeze them a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to put it down on my paper and I'm going to push down on the bottom so it's flat on the bottom. That way it won't roll around. That's it. That's a pinch pot. What I want to do now is I just want to show you. I'm going to cut. Actually, I want to do two things. First thing I want to do is pinch the top edge and show you what happens. When you pinch the top edge, it starts flaring out and it starts tearing like this. And then as I move these things around, these pieces break off as they dry. And you'll end up with an edge that looks like that. Let me get my cutter. I'm going to cut this in half. I want to show you what it looks like from the side so you can really see what we've been doing. So this is a wire cutting tool. It's made just for working with clay. I'm going to go right through it. It should just fall in half. There we go. So you can see on the sides, it's pretty even. Now I've been doing this for a long time, so I see like one little spot there that was not quite even, but otherwise it looks pretty even. The top is just as even as the insides. The top could even possibly be a little thicker than the rest of it, because that's what's going to kind of hold it all together. That top edge actually does a lot of work, kind of keeps everything stable. If your top edge gets too thin, it can start affecting the whole pot. All right. Yes, no. You can see if we cut this one down, let's take a look at what's happened now to this edge. See how it's real thin now? So the rest of it was nice and sturdy and thick, and then that top edge got super thinned out. It just makes it more prone to breaking off. You'll end up with this rough, broken edge on the top. Now if you do make a mistake or things aren't going well, take all of your clay, pound it down, trying to get all the air out of it. And then squeeze it together. See, I'm really squishing it. I'm not just playing like this. I'm really using all my muscles to push that into itself. It's called kneading the clay. Working the clay over, trying to mix it a little bit and get all of those air pockets out of my clay. If you do it right, it'll be fine, and then you can start all over. You can even see how it's swirling. It's from me turning the clay in my hands. If your clay starts to dry out too much, all you have to do is get your hands wet and then work the clay again. You don't get the clay wet, just get your hands a little wet. That's all it takes to get the clay moist again. You'll know it'll start cracking. You'll see lots of little cracks and crumbles. All right, good luck with your first pinch pot.